This year, Her Excellency will not only be awarded, but she'll also be presenting an award. And the event is officially starting.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished and respectable, great and highly regarded people of our great continent and worldwide. It's my pleasure this evening to welcome you all to this wonderful place. The Honorable Host MP will make a little bit illustration of the history of here, but I'm only saying on behalf of the organizers, of which I am one. My name is Godson Azu. I'm the CEO of Cater and Major Consults Limited. We facilitate conferences like this, and also we facilitate trade delegations from Africa to the UK and to Europe. This is one of our programs that we normally organize annually here in the UK, and this is the 9th year we're doing it, and it's been a great honor and privilege to have hosted great men of honor from Africa, from the Commonwealth, and also within the UK. We have various occasions, MPs, members of the House of Lords, parliamentarians from Africa, presidents, governors from Africa, ministers from Africa. And we bring this as a point of gathering for us to look at issues that bet on our democratic institution, using democracy to foster peace, and using trade as a means and a tool to bring about peace and cooperation among people in Africa and in the Commonwealth. We believe that trade is one of the instruments that brings people together. When people trade with their produce, they tend not to fight each other at most times. But they fight when they lose the money and lose their produce. And so this is an avenue to discuss such things. And in the past, we have had so many speakers here that have graced this occasion. This evening, we are honored to have very great men, political inclined, diplomatically inclined, business inclined, community-wise inclined. We have people here from our community that are here. So it's my pleasure. I want to welcome you all on behalf of the London Political Summits and Award. You are most highly welcome. My chairman is out because he needs to do the next item. He's here. Okay. Yeah. So, thank you very much for coming. I'm sure we have a couple of people from across Africa here and the Commonwealth. There are representations from Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Zambia, people from here, from Kenya, from here, from Uganda, a couple of people from all over. And that is what we tend to do. Oh, from England. So, thank you. So we wouldn't want to waste much time. I would like to go straight to the point. I want to hand over to the summit chair, who will do the next item, so we can run off the program. We've got a couple of things to do in the limited 2 hours we have to stay here. In between 2 hours, we need to leave here. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the chair of this year's summit. He was honored to be the chair of the summit last year. He did a fantastic job, and we have retained him and recruited him to continue this job for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Kishan Devani, member of the British Empire, a distinguished trade and international relations expert. He bridges the gap between the UK and many third world countries and emerging markets around the world. He travels around Africa and the Caribbean as if he's going to his back garden to have a sunshine bed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to recognize and welcome Professor Kishan Devani. Summit Chair.
Because I'm chairing, I'll not stand up because I'm going to have to be. So we still have some dignitaries waiting actually outside. So still to come, I've been told we've got the ambassadors waiting outside. So we are where we are. So look, firstly, thank you all for coming. To get a room in the Palace of Westminster is very, very difficult, as you can imagine, especially while today is a big legislative day. It's quite a heavy day in Parliament with votes going on. My friend here, Afzal, will have to be going voting in and out as the evening goes. And we have a government minister coming, Minister for Health, Public Health coming in some time as well. So we're very lucky that we've had this opportunity during, as soon as Parliament's sitting, because it's very rare that happens. Usually you find these types of functions happening when Parliament's not sitting and it's recess. So thank you, Afzal, for facilitating this for us in the Palace. So it's wonderful to have you all here. I will introduce each one of our dignitaries and etc. as they're about to speak. So I won't go through everyone on the dais right now. I will do that individually before you speak. But firstly, I'd like to welcome Afzal Khan MP, who is our parliamentary host for this evening. Afzal represents the constituency Manchester Rusholme, which is apparently the centre of the universe, right?
Always.
And Manchester is a great city, a big advocate for Manchester, has a great mayor, Andy Burnham. It's true strong Labour, so it's a great city. But Afzal is a real champion of the people. One of the most well-known MPs in British Parliament currently, especially amongst the diaspora communities, does a lot of work with various diasporas and is always available to help the Black and ethnic minority communities in the UK. And his actions are a testament to that. So without further ado, I'd request Afzal Khan MP to please welcome us all and say a few words.
Thank you very much, my good friend, Professor Hatisha. Brothers, sisters, Your Excellency, Madam, it's an honor and a privilege, actually, to host this amazing event of Annual London Political Summit and Awards that you're holding. And what a place that you've chosen, the Palace of Westminster. And you're absolutely right. Somebody said earlier on that I better speak something about it. If I did that, you'll be here tomorrow as well. There's so much history here. But what I will say to you is this place, not only is a palace, but it is a world iconic building. So we are all privileged to be actually in here. And something I will say to you is this, that actually whilst you're here, when you're going around, just look at this building. The more you look at this building, the more you will see. There is so much detail. I've been here for almost 7-8 years now, and every day I see something new. And that's why, so make most of it, go around while you're here to look at this building. The second, of course, the most important bit is mother of all parliaments. Again, great place to be here. So I'm pleased that you're holding this event here. I'm pleased that there's so many people here. You wouldn't believe it. When they asked me to book this room, they said about 40 people will be here. And good job we kept the door open, otherwise we'll all be boiling. But that also shows that excellent line of speakers they have. And let's not forget Her Excellency Fatmata Madhu Bayo, who's here. It's been a pleasure to meet her, and in such a short time to learn an amazing work and the history of herself and the country that she's representing here today as well. Now, it's pleasing for me also that you are holding this event here, because I think why it's important that this is the Black History Month. Last week in Manchester, I was there to host that in our beautiful cathedral. But I'll tell you something else about Manchester. Not only is the center of universe, but it's also a city which believes in fairness, believes in justice, and believes in diversity and celebrating diversity. And I'll share with you just one thing. When South Africa, we had apartheid, Manchester was a city which has coat of arms in in the central hall of the town hall. And the coat of arms that you had there, they put a balak cloth on it. And they also had a wooden statue which had chains. And they boycotted South Africa. They stood up for fairness and justice and equality against the apartheid. And once that was dismantled, they actually held a ceremony where they broke that chain. So that's a city which is actually has a belief in social justice. And it's not just for the UK, but globally. And I think when we look around the world today, we see the need for that. And that's why I feel so proud of being a Mancunian. But I also feel proud that you are hosting this when we just had an election and you got a new Labour government. As a person who's a Labour MP, I can't tell you, it was a long 14 years being in opposition. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's good that we are now the thumping majority in government. And one of the things we want to make sure is that where we have been neglecting, both in the country and globally, to connect up. And I hope your summit here and the work that you do and the importance of the trade will be one of the areas, because you cannot ignore Africa. Africa is a huge continent with a huge population, and they've got so much to contribute. The stronger we make that relationship, the better it is. So I look forward to your success. I look forward to your next year's event as well, where I hope I can join you as well. And I want to wish you the best for today. I hope you enjoy this event. So thank you, Professor. Thank you for all our guest speakers as well. And thank you to all of you as well. Thank you.
Just 1 minute, please, ladies and gentlemen, just bear with me 1 minute. It's unfortunate one of our special guest speakers was supposed to be here, and one of our award recipients was supposed to be here, in the person of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, was supposed to be here today with us and throughout the week, but we got the sad news that his wife passed away last week.
Oh, sorry.
And so it's been a very difficult moment for him. If you look at the program, those who have it, you see him there. Unfortunately, he has made us to understand he's going through a very tough time now. At the moment, in fact, the wife passed away here, so we're still making arrangements to take her back to Nigeria. So please, may I ask us in this honor to give him and the wife 1 minute silence. And we start for 1 minute silence. May her gentle soul rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
So quickly we go to the next item on our program, which will run around quickly. We actually expected a bit of changes because of what happened, and so we saw some things on the program, but it's not yet that we started 24 hours ago. And so we'll be having our keynote speaker as the main speaker for today. When the time comes out to speak, she's going to speak. And then we're going to have a session where some individuals will make 2-3 minutes remark. And then we'll have an interactive session. And after that, we do our special certificate presentations. And then we close up. We may have 2 hours. This is not supposed to be our work night. Our work night is on Friday, but there are some special things we do today. And so, may I? May I call Mr. Wusu Didia Diallo? Diallo, did I pronounce it well? Diallo.
Do it for me.
1 minute before you do the introduction. 1 minute
John.
before you do the introduction. Please, I'd like to recognize just some few people I know here, and I'm sure Professor Kishan will help to recognize the ambassadors that are here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know most of the face.
Yeah.
But I recognize some few people I know. Our Excellency is here. His Excellency Dr. Henry Mane, the High Commissioner of Sierra Leone, the Republic of Sierra Leone to the United Kingdom, is here with us. I've got my friend, a very good friend here, and a colleague, a wonderful supporter of what we're doing this week, the chairman of British African Business Alliance. I've also got my friend and my boss, immediate boss, and the former presidential aspirant and candidate of Nigeria, the owner and the founder of Leone Television London, Dr. Alice Kashiyote. I've also got my friend, Ambassador Chief Uso Owune, the former ambassador or IMO of Comoros to IMO.
That's the High Commissioner of Sri Lanka.
Oh, okay, we got the ambassador of Sri Lanka there too. You're welcome, sir. Is there another ambassador here? Another ambassador?
No.
And I've got, oh yes, I've got our Deputy High Commissioner from Sierra Leone there, Ambassador. You don't keep missing my head. Okay. Thank you very much.
Speaking, by the way.
Yeah, and I've got Mr. Peter Fowler here, one of our biggest sponsors, the chairman of Westminster Group. Chairman of Westminster Group, and after him, I've got the representative of His Excellency Honorable Jack Rich, the president of Belema Oil Group of Companies in Nigeria. So he's running late, he's very but standing in for him now. I've got my friend Sir Comrade Jonathan Dokoburi, the President General of Ijaw Youth Congress worldwide. We'll be saying a little bit about what is happening in Nigeria and the Ijaw community during the session. So
yeah, if you're introducing people, then I think it's only fair that we introduce the Honourable Minister of Education from Zambia, Honourable Douglas Siakalima. Not bad, huh? And the Honourable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, so the Home Secretary of Zambia, Jacob Mundu. Yeah? Was that good pronunciation? Yes.
We are good people. And also I have one of my sponsors and one of my great supporters that been behind us, one of the biggest Indian PR persons, PR marketer, anything you want from India, from the Asian community, please, my friend Tawari, Manish Tawari.
Thank you.
Chairman of Here and Now PR Marketing.
And we've also got a very special guest from the House of Lords, Lord John Hannett, OBE, who So his lordship has just come out of a meeting with the Labour peers who are deciding what to vote on this evening. So he's finally managed to leave.
So we are completed. The Parliament is completed.
And what he didn't explain about the Lord was that he also was based in Manchester,
Yeah.
the center of universe.
Yeah, but he's a Scouser, yes.
That's weird enough.
So we are having, I'm going to mention it, but we are in Parliament, and we represent the Nigerian Parliament.
Oh, they didn't give me your details, please.
Please.
Why did you give me details?
So we have 4 from the Nigerian Parliament are here.
Welcome here. Welcome to the Parliament. Okay.
This man didn't give me names and I was.
Don't worry.
It's been done now. It's been done. Carry on.
Don't worry.
My apologies, Honorable. Sorry, Nigerian politicians are very solid. Very solid. I'm very polite. And humble. I will try to make them honorable. I will get the names and pronounce it. So, um, sorry, we go straight to the main speech of today. Unfortunately, two other speakers are not here. One of the other speakers I mentioned. Yes, so now I will call on Mr. Jago to introduce our keynote speaker to deliver her speech.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Madam First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone, honorable members of the British Parliament, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I accept profoundly the singular honor of introducing our honored guests to this august gathering. Today's gathering serves as a symbol of recognizing and awarding our guest of honor for our remarkable efforts and resultant outcomes of our collective engagement and strides in many spheres of the governance architecture of our state since about 7 years ago. Our guest of honor is phenomenal and has impacted in a very significant way our national outlook on hitherto marginalized groups in her country, Sierra Leone, the women and the girl child. Through a combination of activities, she has been able to reverse the age of patriarchal tendencies of a heavily chauvinistic society to accepting a call to mainstreaming women in the governance architecture of the state and giving a solid identity and care to children, especially the girl child. She has single-handedly promoted the development of friendly legislation for women and the protection of the girl child. The GIRI Act, Sexual Related Offences Act. Today, in our country, Sierra Leone, we can boast of a 30% of quota for women representation in all spheres of public institutions. Honorable members of parliament, our esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor has added glory and served as a major catalyst for change and development in her country. She has moved the office of the First Lady from a mere decoration to the state to an organ that leverages the governance of the system, thereby becoming a major support pillar to state governance. Our guest of honor believes in change and reinforces the philosophy that change is permanent and, as a matter of fact, the only thing that is permanent. Her international contribution has been robust and noticeable. She has promoted United Nations World Day on the prohibition, on the prevention and healing from child sexual exploitation, rape, and abuse. She is goal-driven, result-oriented, and sufficiently motivated in whatever she does. She has given hope, identity, and glamour to a hugely relegated segment in our society, the women and the girl child. Our guest of honor is here for an award that is carefully tailored to reflect her great contribution to making the world a better place for our women and children. Honorable members of parliament, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our guest of honor, Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Fatima Madabio.
Thank you, Jajida. You know, when my brother there was trying to introduce you, I thought they're trying to invent you from Guinea or Cameroon. Say Diallo, yeah, Jallo. Distinguished guest, let me start first of all in honoring the honorable member of parliament, the honorable member of the UK Parliament, who are here present, and of course the organizers of this event. I bring you all warm greetings from our sunny country called Sierra Leone, and you will understand why I say sunny. The moment you arrive in the UK, you know what you're missing. I am actually missing sunlight. But I bring you greetings from His Excellency, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, and the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone. I consider my being here today as not as privileged, but I consider it an honor to be selected by the organizers of the London Political Summit and Award 2024, considering the array of distinguished and erudite and accomplished personalities who are present here this evening. There can be no better place to be than the United Kingdom House of Parliament for such important gathering to interact and discuss. Elated as I am about my recognition and selection, I feel very humble as well to share a platform which also provides an opportunity to amplify the small but impactful effort we are pursuing in our small, beautiful country called Sierra Leone. The theme for this event, the visionary leadership imperative for the social, economic, and gender equality in political governance, coined for this year's London Political Summit and Award, resonate with our context in Sierra Leone and very appropriate for my own situation as the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone. In today's world, we are living with the most unprecedented volatility, uncertainty, complexities, and ambiguities. Therefore, from any leadership to thrive and deliver on the burning issues for your people and humanity at large, it is imperative that you must be visionary. It is visionary leadership that understands the intrinsic connection between social, economic, and gender equality and the future of governance. In the Sierra Leone context, which might apply to several countries across the sub-Saharan Africa, every development issue is a priority, but the resources needed to respond and address such demands are very limited to us. To make matters difficult, the political term is short and very limited. And you all know visions are for long term. We came into leadership in 2018 and we're very desirous to turn things around with the best intentions. We quickly developed the medium-term National Development Plan 2019 to 2023, which His Excellency dubbed Education for the Development of Our Pathway to Achieving the Medium Income Status by 2030. Our national plan was hailed and admired globally as it was aligned with the African Union Agenda 2063 and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 2030. But more importantly, sets out a clear pathway for laying a firm foundation for our people. The visionary leadership His Excellency brought to Sierra Leone emboldened him to dare on promising during his campaign on a number of issues that has identified his presidency for us all. His initial pronouncement and policies disrupted the status quo, and the whole of Sierra Leone immediately felt his leadership. The free quality education for all children from primary to secondary school, and for girls opting to do science, technology, engineer, and mathematics. They can be supported up to university. Courageous to fight corruption that was pervasive, His Excellency allowed and empowered the office of the First Lady to move from a traditional ceremonial role to directly complementing the work of government in pursuing of national development, especially the critical aspect of empowering women and girls and daring to include women in leadership position as the main vision for Sierra Leone's development. The new direction, as we call our current government, did not come into governance and assume leadership for the sake of power. We wanted to ensure that power was distributed to capture and include the diversity of our nation and the demography of our population so that decision making can be inclusive and sustainable. This helps us understand the struggles, challenges, and aspirations of the marginalized groups of our population and empower us to shape policies that will address their needs and aspirations, which is why we listened to them and developed a national plan that was their own. Furthermore, long-term thinking and future benefit was central, which aim at ensuring Sierra Leoneans become competitive and useful in this technological and innovative world, and the best way of pursuing that was investing in education. Education is now the single highest taker of resources from our national budget. I will also want to address sexual reproductive issues that is affecting Africa. Now, I'll speak on behalf of Sierra Leone, but I also want you to emphasize that what Sierra Leone goes through is almost what the whole of the sub-Saharan Africa goes through. But the things that we have done to change those narratives so that we will be at the forefront in making sure that the changes that Africa needs, we will lead that. One of the critical issues Sierra Leone and majority of African countries grapple with is gender equality. Within this global framework and technology are gross violation, sexual and gender-based violence, especially rape, child marriage, teenage pregnancy, exclusion from education, access to the factors of productions, especially land and capital. But even more crucial is positions of leadership are reserved for boys and men only. This inhumane and outdated treatment has often been hidden and masked under culture, customs, traditions, and religion. Compelling unadulterated evidence shows the worst form of poverty, deprivation, neglect, and marginalization on the continent of Africa are prevalent among women and girls. In our world today, where the wealth gap continues to grow, political governance cannot ignore the consequences of inequality. It creates environments where people are disenfranchised, excluded from decision-making processes, and trapped in circle of ever never-ending poverties. Governments that fail to address social economic disparities risk undermining their own stability. In Sierra Leone, we have made some efforts that are broad-based, including protection, liberation, and empowerment. My Hands Off Our Girls campaign targeted sexual and gender-based violence, child marriage, teenage pregnancy, menstrual hygiene, child trafficking, HIV and AIDS, fistula, and I advocated for systemic policies and laws reform. We adopted a governance approach that created specialized institutions and strengthened established ones. Fighting for and pursuing the empowerment of women and girls attain equality is a tough, difficult, unattractive, and daunting challenges and task. But I always say to fight for women is a just, is fair, and the right thing to do in our society today if we want the world to go further. This is where my drive, my motivation, and inspiration come from. Research shows that when women are empowered, economy grows, peace is more sustainable, and societies are more resilient. Women in leadership brings new perspective, innovative solutions, and commitment to inclusivity that is essential for addressing the complex challenges we face today. Gender inequality similarly undermines the fabric of our society. We, the women, make up roughly half of the world's population, but yet still we remain unrepresented in political institutions, the general workforce, leadership roles, and other decision-making processes. Political governance is very critical and continue to hold the key to reforming and shaping the policies that will either perpetuate or dismantle inequality. The role of government is to provide sound, accountable leadership to the citizens which they can trust and relate to. Again, the role of visionary leaders should be at the forefront of carving the way and creating a sustainable path to equality in society. Therefore, political leadership should ensure that the legal framework that guarantees recognition, equal opportunities, freedoms, protection from gender-based violence, ensure there is access to social services, especially education, health, food, and others. But more importantly, targeted interventions, including social safety nets, needed to lift people out of poverty and misery. Governance here is also about ensuring a holistic performance of all the organs of government, the executives, the legislature and judiciary, as well as the citizens themselves in the performance of their civic duties, electing, holding leaders to account, and protecting the resources of the state. As I come to close of my speech, I want to suggest as action we must take to develop visionary leadership for social, economic, and gender equality. My first suggestion is we must invest in educating the next generation of leaders with a focus of equality, empathy, inclusivity, accountability. There should be special leadership training programs, mentorship opportunities, and advocacy groups should be promoted to ensure that women and people from diverse backgrounds are supported and prepared to lead. My second suggestion is the legislative action. Laws and policies must be enacted, but more importantly, they should be enforced to address income inequality, gender based violence, equal pay, and representation quotas in political offices. These aren't just checkboxes, they are essential building blocks of a more equitable society. Thirdly, we must break stereotypes. Society needs to actively challenge and dismantle harmful gender and social economic stereotypes, marks in cultures, traditions, and religion. We see these practices limiting opportunities and perpetuate inequality. We need to culture this in the mainstream, and social media incorporates them in education and practice them in our workplaces and in our communities. Last but not the least, we need to collaborate across sector. Visionary leadership requires collaboration across sector governance, civil society, and the private sector. We all must work together to push forward an agenda of equality. No one sector can solve these challenges alone, and in the spirit of the UN SDG 2030, we must leave no one behind. Ladies and gentlemen, we stand at a crossroad. The future of political governance and indeed the future of our world depends on the decision we make today. We can choose to perpetuate inequality, or we can choose to lead with vision, courage, and empathy and accountability. We can choose to create systems that benefit a few, or we can choose to build a world where everyone has a seat at the table and benefit from the abundant resources nature has provided us. Therefore, visionary leadership is not an option, but an imperative. It is the only sure way we must follow and culture in pursuit of achieving true social, economic, and gender equality in political governance. And it is the only way we will build a future where everyone can be assured of an opportunity we all deserve and we all strive for. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Okay, very good.
Thank you very much. That was an indeed very superlative speech. Thank you, Your Excellency, for that wonderful speech. I'm sure it's well recorded. I'm sure everybody have a good record of that speech. This will be used for more further publications. I don't want to take much of your time. Let me quickly recognize, I'm a Nigerian. I don't want my Nigerian people to go back and sue me.
Put you in jail, huh?
Nigeria, they sue you. If you're not happy,
They'll have you
go to
locked up,
court.
God.
If you're not happy, go to court before they take me to court in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, let me recognize our distinguished, honorable members of the Nigerian National Assembly, members of the Nigerian House of Representatives, here led by the Right Honorable Dr. Suleiman Abubakar Gumi. Is he here? He is the member of the House of Representatives, I think is the chair of the House Committee on Safety Regulations. Thank you very much. And also with him is Honorable Sani Lawal. Is he here? Also with him here is Honorable Adelembe Oluwa, 2 years from me. And Honorable Barrister Harrison Anosie Wike. Is coming. Also here to let me recognize Ms. Mambo Manduka Mwanga, the wife of the Honorable Minister. Sorry, Zambia. Sorry. So we wanted to go to the panel. To who? Oh.
Go to court.
Yeah, just remind him that.
Oh, Honorable. Sorry, sir. Please don't take me to court.
We'll have you arrested when you land.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you very much. Honorable David English. Zachary. So we have a full house. Please don't report me. So we have a very great man here, and he doesn't have much time to spend with us. I wish he can stay to listen to others speak a little bit for two minutes. Honorable, are you willing to give them 2 minutes?
It depends. If they stick to 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Give
because
them
I've
2
been
minutes
very.
to speak, and then we
Yeah,
have to listen to them,
Yeah.
because some of them are going to make some case before you.
Yeah,
And you
please.
need to put in your
Because the
diary.
minister needs to get. He's got.
He's a minister in the cabinet, so
Literally
he needs
2
to catch
minutes.
it. So I'm going to give each person one representative of the members of the Nigerian National Assembly, representative of the Zambian Ministry, Zambian here, and our Ijo Youth Council member. To 2 minutes, please. 2 minutes. The Honorable Minister will be listening.
Yeah,
to
but how many though? 2 minutes,
Yeah,
not
I've just
15.
mentioned them
Yeah?
now. Honorable Member Gumi, leading the members of the National House of Representatives from Nigeria. Sir Jonathan Lokobiri. In fact, his senior brother or junior brother is the Minister for Petroleum in Nigeria. So better hold him. Hold him and lock him here. And the Honorable Minister for Interior.
But they have big speeches, so we don't want to.
Yes, they can just, if you have the speech, just give it, but let's moderate it a bit.
But let's listen to them thoroughly. I think it's probably better. Let's not take them.
Yeah, we start with the Honorable Minister. The Honorable Minister.
Andrew is a member of parliament.
I'm saying Godson,
Yeah.
because their speeches are quite long, and I've seen it. Probably they would like to say it. Would people like to listen to it, right? So let's deal with Andrew first, and then we can move on. I think it's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I want Andrew to listen to them for 2 minutes. It won't be nice.
They don't have to 2 minutes.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll be 2 minutes. So can we?
Yeah, 2 minutes, please. 2 minutes. Let's moderate.
Would you be okay with that, Minister? Would you be okay?
3 minutes,
Or would you like to say your whole speech?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. If there will be some other opportunity
Yes.
for us to speak,
Yes.
Guys,
we have no
Yes, of
problem
course.
with
Yeah.
1 minute.
That's what I'll do.
After that, you can.
Yeah,
have
so then
another
that makes sense, fine. Minister, I think I'll do that. Yeah. So let me get to the come to the chase. We're very, very lucky this evening to have the Public Health Minister of the United Kingdom, of His Majesty's government here today. He's managed to take out 20 minutes of his time, for which I'm eternally grateful to you, Andrew Gwynn. Andrew Gwynn is the Member of Parliament for Manchester Denton, is that right? Gorton.
Gorton
from here.
I know, that's what I was going to say. So that is definitely the centre of the universe, because they're both neighbours and their constituencies.
And that means he's also center of universe.
So Andrew is a fine man who's got a very difficult brief at the moment, because there's simply no money left in government. But he's doing a great job, regardless of the situation he's inherited, and He's a great personal friend of all the communities. I've seen him firsthand working in Manchester with all the communities, all the BME communities across Manchester and across the UK now. So it's a great pleasure to have the Right Honourable Andrew Gwynn MP here today. I understand that he is also a recipient of an award, which the First Lady, I believe, is going to be presenting to the Minister. And so if you'd be kind enough to say a few words, I'd be very grateful.
Distinguished guests, fellow parliamentarians, Your Excellencies, Lord, ladies and gentlemen. That took up almost a 2-minute limit. Look, one of the things you'll find, Minister, in the House of Commons is that we now have time limits. So you can see on the annunciator screen, it's telling MPs that they've only got 4 minutes contributions time limits in their debates. And the downside is it will probably go down to 3 minutes and then 2 minutes before we get to the wind-ups by the front benches. It's the bane of every MP's life that they put in to speak. They've got this wonderful 30-minute can't even spit my words out now, piece of oratory, and they get the message from the whips that it has to go down to 5 minutes, to 3 minutes, to 2 minutes, and so on. So my apologies for jumping the queue. I would dearly love to stay, but unfortunately I've got quite a hectic schedule. Look, one of the things that I really love about my new job as the Minister for Public Health and Prevention isn't the fantastic work that I can do in this country on the social determinants of ill health, tackling health inequalities, and extending people's healthy life expectancy. That's really important. But actually, the part of my job that I love the most is that I also have responsibility in the Department for Health and Social Care for international health. So World Health Organization, I'll be going to the G20 Health Ministers Summit in Rio at the end of this month. We are looking at how we can help colleagues in different parts of the world with the capacity and the expertise that the National Health Service in the UK has, that the UK Health Security Agency has, in assisting with a whole range of issues from HIV right the way through to Mpox and some of the other global health challenges. And I think it's really important that we do recognise that those health inequalities that brought me into politics here in the UK matter not just on a national scale, they matter on an international scale too. Inequality is inequality wherever it exists. And if there is a life expectancy gap between two people living in two very different parts of Manchester, which there are, those are wrong, and it is my job and our job collectively as politicians to try and address those inequalities. But the same is true whether there is a gap in health inequalities between somebody living in Manchester and somebody living in Mumbai or Mombasa or anywhere else beginning with M around the globe. Health inequalities are health inequalities. They deprive humanity of reaching their full potential. And we have a global obligation to assist humanity through those health inequalities so that we don't just live in a better, fairer, more equal Britain, but a better, fairer, more equal world. And so I'm really looking forward to playing my role in helping tackle health inequalities, global health challenges, some of it fueled by other challenges like climate change as well, so that we can live in that fairer world that we all want to live in. And then lastly, I just want to say this. So that's what brought me into politics. That's what drives me in my job as Minister for Public Health and Prevention. But also, it's about Britain standing tall in the world. I think it's fair to say, you know, Britain obviously has global reach because of our history. Some of that has led to positive outcomes across the world, some of it less so. And I do think that in reaching out to try and fix some of the global challenges and inequalities, it is an opportunity for a refreshed, reinvented Britain to play a leading role in helping humanity achieve the very best in whatever part of the globe there are challenges. And I think that is a really exciting prospect for this country, because we do have a leading role, despite the fact we left the European Union. We can't change our geography. We have a leading role in Europe. We have a leading role across the Atlantic with the United States, but also with the Commonwealth through our historic links around the globe. And through the Commonwealth, reaching out beyond those borders to tackle some of those challenges that are common across Africa, across Asia, across South America and other parts of the world where there are huge challenges. We have expertise here in abundance. We have skills in abundance. We have technology in an abundance. And using that refound confidence, I think we can tackle inequality and make this world a better place. So thank you.
So I believe the committee have decided to honour the Minister as the Parliamentarian of the Year 2024, to be given by the First Lady, if you would be...
Wow.
Yeah?
I might have given a longer speech if I'd have known.
So, do I have to read what's on the?
No, it's fine.
No, just the award.
Oh, thank you very much. And what you said was so powerful. One of my real successes, and it's a minor thing in the big scheme of things, was in 2010. I passed in this Parliament in a private member's bill, which is quite difficult to get through, the Debt Relief Developing Countries Act 2010. And what that did was prevent historic debts to the 40 highly impoverished, highly indebted poor countries from being sued in the British courts for debts that we've effectively written off, but these vulture funds have taken and were basically taking all the money that some of the poorest countries in the world were allocating for things like health, sanitation, education, particularly the education of women and girls, and it was being lost. And we got that landmark legislation through because the Prime Minister of the day, Gordon Brown, it ran out of time. He put it through the procedure called Wash Up just before the 2010 election, which meant you could fast track it to become law. So it became law. And when we all say, because we all do, we came into politics to change the world, I can actually say in a little bit I did.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Keep up your good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We both will come and join you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You need to go.
I do need to go. Thank you.
So I have some.
So we'll quickly go to the brief speeches, and then we'll do the quick. There are some people who are going to give some certificates now.
Yeah.
And then I would
His,
call on
his lordship will need to go
yeah,
back
the
to vote as
lordship.
well.
I would like to recognize my partners and collaborators for this event of this year, the Occupational Safety Health Association UK. Go ahead. Go ahead. Osha. Please let the MP go, let the MP go so we can continue. Sorry. Please. Thank you. My partners here, OSHA, are here. The team is here. They'll be assisting. There are some couple of people here who are going to be inducted into the OSHA association in the UK. Some of the certificates will be given to you today, but the main thing is happening on Friday, please. We're not doing everything today here. There's no time.
No, we have to empty the room at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, so I'm pointing to that time that we need to be watching. Why you are talking watch that time. So so let's go straight to before I do that, let me recognize another person here in my list, very important person from Nigeria, Mr. Balaye Oluwaseun Mayomi, the MD of Nigeria Social Insurance Agency. Sorry, sir. Don't sue me, sir. So I go straight now to the Honorable Minister for Safety, Homeland Security. Please, sir. Let's maintain 5 minutes or so. Let's watch that time.
Thank you very much, my lady, the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, my dear wife Mambo, members of the media. As it was said earlier, the remarks will be made at a later stage, which may be tomorrow. I just want to state, honorable colleagues, that I'm the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security in Zambia. I have been a member of the opposition for 20 years and leader of the opposition for 5 years. I'm the longest serving member of parliament in the history of Zambia. It is not easy to be a member of the opposition in Africa. It's difficult.
14 years here
Well,
is
we've
bad
had it
enough.
here as well. We've had it here. We can assure you we've had it here.
In 2021, we seized the helms of power. We are now the ruling party in Zambia. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme for this year's summit resonates very well with our policies as the Zambian government. We, as the government of Zambia, firmly believe that you cannot develop a country without law and order, without good governance. We believe that you cannot share poverty. You can only share wealth. And for you to create wealth, you have to create an enabling environment for you as government to entice foreign direct investment. Investors can only come to a country where there's peace and stability. We are proud as Zambia that at least in Africa, and maybe in the world, we are one of those who can proudly state that there's peace, security, and order in Zambia. From the time of independence, we have changed the government's opposition, ruling party, losing elections. We are proud of that. But we are also proud that as Zambia, we have been supported by the international community in all our endeavors. And we are grateful today that we are here with my colleague, the Minister of Education, that we are going to share experiences pertaining to security, good governance, and the enhancement of women in politics. We firmly believe in Zambia that you cannot discriminate against your mother rather. We believe that your father may be somebody else, and not the one who is said to be your father.